evening. It's Monday, which means it's time for Enterprise at 8. This is Live Long and Podcast Star Trek Enterprise Rewatch series. It's been over 20 years since tonight.
20 years?
20 years. See, now I'm actually like pausing for it now because you keep doing it. And just when I thought we weren't going to have sounds this episode. Anyway, Vanishing Point is the episode. But we're just getting started here at Enterprise at 8. I'm Jody Simpson. Along with me is the man who says Starfleet said it's safe, and that's good enough for him, Adam Woodward.
Thanks, Jody. I'm here. I don't know about that. I have lots to say about that tonight.
You do? Okay, fair enough. All right, and of course, Adam and I are joined by some awesome panelists. Tonight, joining us is Live Long and Podcast. Whoa, let's try that one again. Live Long and Podcast's awesome producer, and the man who is not frightened by the automobile or the airplane, Dave Mater.
Hello, Jody. I found this episode unsettling, but it's okay because tall guys are popular. So I think we'll work out in the end.
All right, good. And of course, who could forget the man that was told by Captain Archer to stay in his quarters, but he refused? Kevin Millard.
If I didn't have to see Archer, I would definitely stay put.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Tonight's episode, as I said, is Vanishing Point. This is the 35th episode of the series. And this episode is about following her first experience with the transporter. An eerie series of events makes Hoshi think she is becoming invisible to the rest of the crew.
Haven't we seen this in a Next Gen episode somewhere?
Several.
I believe we have.
Sort of.
Twice, if I remember correctly.
And in an original series.
And an original series. Was there one in DS9? I don't think there was a DS9
yes,
episode.
there is. There's
there?
an episode. There's an episode where Bashir is like in his own mind, and all the crew are taking on different personalities. And
yes,
yeah.
okay. And
but that one's good.
Voyager.
It's better, yeah.
Oh, there's got to be one in Voyager. It has to be.
Probably. There's one of everything in Voyager.
Oh, yeah. Voyager, probably a couple of versions.
Probably
of
like
this.
one each season. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway.
This one had a little bit. This one had a different twist at the end, a bit, than some of those other ones, because usually it's not. It was all a dream, guys. Nothing really happened. Only 8 seconds happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
That I was like, I got to the end and I was like, oh, okay. So
I don't know what I was hoping, but I was hoping for something because I was intrigued through the whole thing. I'm like, oh, she's like gradually disappearing, but sometimes people can see her. Like, I thought it was going to be interesting, and then it wasn't.
it was like the opposite of interesting.
Right from the start. I've got some questions.
All right.
So first of all, they're on this planet. Thank you.
Mhm.
And they're doing whatever they do, taking pictures with the camera. I love that, by the way. It brings out,
Yeah, it's like a Pentax digital camera from the early 2000s.
That's so
Brought
funny.
along.
Yeah. And she's there to hold the light. I love that.
Yeah.
What else is Hoshi going to do?
Yeah.
I'm always amazed that this ship has like no scientists or no anything, right?
Well,
Like,
it's a small crew.
not that small.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
what
80
was
of them.
There's
in
only 80
Space Seed?
people on
In
this
Space
ship.
Seed, what was like the crewman who became Khan's wife? What was her job?
She was a historian.
Right.
How often did she have something to do?
Apparently,
Once.
when she went, and when
What
But
did
you
she
see, that
invest-
just goes to show you how utilitarian this ship is. Because, the ship that comes after this, they have a historian on board, which makes absolutely no sense because they're not going to be anywhere where they would know the history.
right. But anyway, so they're down here. They're taking the pictures. This is great.
Yeah.
Nobody's around. Fine.
I'm pretty sure that the showrunner just got their kids to do some clay pieces and
Yep.
put it
Then
in
they
here.
go. Then they go outside because the captain calls them outside to talk. Right. Out they go.
Says there's some storms coming.
There's storms coming. Now, why couldn't they stay in the ruins again? That was where I was like, right away. I was confused.
Signal was probably hard to get in there.
There was
Archer.
there was
no.
some
They
radiation.
had to leave the planet. Remember that?
Yeah, there
They
was
said that
some
the key-
radiation with this storm.
Yeah, some kind of electrical. Even inside the shuttle wouldn't protect them, and therefore, he didn't think that the caves would protect them enough.
It's
basically.
always that anyway. Let's be honest. It's either an electrical disturbance that they can't do communications with, that they can't use the teleporter or transport, excuse me. And, it's always that way.
Anyway, so they say they can't use the shuttle. You got to beam up, or you have to be transported up. And she's like, we all know who she feels about transporting, right?
Well,
And
did we already know this about her?
I think we did.
Okay.
I think it was mentioned in passing in one of the early episodes. Yeah.
Because there's been so few examples of the episode kind of focuses on the fact that it's been used so few times, and most of the crew
they've only used it for equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Malcolm, the captain, and somebody else have done it.
Malcolm twice and the captain. Now Hoshi and Trip once.
Trip did once, yeah.
Before this. So so this is would be Hoshi's first time, and so she's like the fifth person, I guess.
Okay, so here's my big problem to start with. So we've established they have to beam up, fine, but Trip is okay with going first. He's the senior officer. I was like, what the hell?
Well, he wants her to go first, but she doesn't want to. And so
but so a junior officer talks him into saying, "Okay, you go," and no, she just ordered her.
Yeah, he was trying to. I think he was just trying to make her.
I think he was trying to be compassionate about it.
He says that, and later in the episode that he should have stayed.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, Kevin, because that wasn't really him.
That, of course, you're right. That wasn't really him. Fuck, right.
Hoshi just imagines that's what Hoshi imagines he would feel bad. Basically,
it's all a dream and nothing happened. Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay, can we just pretend it does until we get to that point?
Well, this part all happened. So the storm's coming. It's
so there they go.
There should have been something up once you saw that hair.
Gone.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, he's transported up. She gets a call. He's up there now. So that was kind of the idea. Like, okay, now I know you made it through. I'll go next. And then, so she gets her beam out. And so I guess this is like from this point until the very last minute is kind of the reality of it all. So this is just all imagined here. And again, like it's Reed running the transporter, not an engineer. For whatever reason.
Well, he is an engineer.
Reed?
Oh no, sorry. You're right. Reed's actually doing this. I was thinking it was Trip, but no.
Basically, Enterprise has got 6 people and a bunch of extras that can't talk. This is kind of an episode. I guess you could almost call this
like every show, basically.
Right, like they get Hoshi running the transporter every now and then, right?
Yeah. Did she run it once in a while?
Yeah.
I've seen the controls. It can't be that complicated.
You just go, ooh, ooh, but you got to move all 3 of those dials.
You got to move
together.
the slides all at the same time. That's all you got to do.
Why aren't they just attached?
Yeah, why are they just attached?
Because maybe you have to maybe one's like preamble or something, and
that seems like something pretty technical that a technical engineer should probably operate. Not like
if you got these fancy computers at this point, they should be able to do that anyway. Let's be honest. If they can give you the readout, they can adjust it.
Let's be honest. So that's the cold open. Is that she beams up, and then they're like, okay, let's go. And then this is, I guess, the beginning of, most of it, where she's in the shower. Or no, in the bathroom.
She's checking her face, making sure she's all there.
And she's like, yep.
Was that
there?
Yeah, was that piece of my, is that mole there before?
Yeah, Archer comes to see her, wants her to go back down, and she doesn't want to go. Basically, she's what she says.
I'm tired.
She goes to the mess
hall
here.
What purpose she has to be down there anyway, quite honestly, but
deciphering hieroglyphics, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be legit. Let's go with it.
Yeah, don't send the science officer.
Yeah.
To Paul.
Well,
she wouldn't find it interesting anyway.
Well, she finds almost nothing interesting. So it's
maybe Archer's just like trying to spare himself from 30 minutes of discussion about how it was boring.
Probably.
Yeah, Vulcans have done this 20 times.
Oh yeah, us Vulcans, we've gone into caves on planets before.
Well, they had observed a massive amount of singularities before last week, except the one not in the trinary system, and then something new happened. So
yeah, there you
go. Anyway, so there's this. The theme of the episode keeps coming up. Basically, here is where nobody sees her, where she has to kind of ask 2 or 3 times, "Hey, can I sit down? Hey, hello." and people kind of go, oh, hello, and so she's vanishing before she's vanishing.
I
So
thought that was an interesting twist. Like they haven't done it that way before, where like she has to ask several times. It's almost like she's almost invisible, but not quite. And I thought they were going to do something interesting with that. No.
But no.
No.
But no. They tell her the story here, guys, of this guy who died in like the transporter. What's his name? Cyrus or something like that.
Yeah, Cyrus O something.
Cyrus
Really O
something.
Cyrus or
Cyrus
O
the-
something.
The virus, they called him.
I don't think they did.
Cyrus Ramsey is what they
There
say
you
his
go.
name was in the
Sure.
episode.
See, I was close.
Good, you never heard of Cyrus Ramsey? And he was apparently the guy who disappeared in a pattern buffer, never found again. About
He's
6
probably on a
years?
Dyson spear somewhere.
Right. Well, it
What's
turns
the
out he's not real, Jody. He never
I
existed.
didn't
in
want
the
to
first
give it
place.
away.
Hoshi imagined him out of nowhere, effectively. She imagines that somebody has gone missing in a transporter again. But anyway, there's this whole conversation. Anyway, and Trip gets called, but not. Trip gets called to the next mission. Decides to take Travis with him, and they're like, "Hey," he's like, "You never take me anywhere." Whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Hoshi gets left alone, just eating her chicken fingers and broccoli. She goes to sick bay, guys, and she looks around the corner, doesn't see Phlox, and then he shows up. He was just feeding his leeches. But what do leeches eat?
Blood.
Blood.
Right. So what blood was he feeding them?
He's got lots of blood.
His own blood?
Could be.
It could be.
Maybe
He's a
maybe
doctor.
he-
He's going to have blood in there.
That's true.
He's got extra blood kicking around. Just don't ask questions.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's trying to make her feel better. He doesn't do an examination. Says it her mark moved, and he's like, "It looks better now. You're good. Oh, everything's fine." Scans her. She seems to oversleep the next day. She was supposed to get to work at 8:00 at her shift, and she doesn't. It's 11:00 in the morning.
So there's another scene. Like, do you really think they'd wait 3 hours to call her?
No,
Yeah.
but Hoshi imagined that they would for some reason.
And this
is
girl's
all-
got a lot of self-doubt to be going through all of this stuff in her head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is more of a psychological retrospective on Hoshi than anything else.
Well, yeah, the way everybody treats her, like even the way the captain treats her after one mistake, like you start to piece it together that it is in her mind. Like this is her insecurities.
Right. Like what she thinks of, like Archer's like, hey, get to work. Hey, can you not just talk to them? Forget your universal translator. Just do it. Right. Her relationship with T'Pol, I think, is featured in a couple scenes here where, she thinks that T'Pol's basically a hard ass and never cuts her any slack, basically. And who is it? Like crewman Baird ends up having to like come to the.
Yeah, crewman Baird. Yeah, that's how much she values herself. A crewman can take over just like that.
The crewman, she says, knows nothing about linguistics.
Oh, but there's like a simple binary code, Dave.
It's a simple thing. You just have to know how to use it. I didn't even get a picture of crewman Baird, but he's basically like he's just some extra on the other side of the bridge, and then they're like, go over there and do it, and he's able to do it. This is the shower scene with Hoshi where she starts fading away in the mirror. You kind of see there.
And then water goes through her.
Yeah. Water goes through her in the shower here, through her hands. Again, I thought like there was maybe something interesting going on here.
They've got like great showers on the Enterprise. I'll say that.
They do. Yeah. Maybe we don't really know if they're using water showers by the time of like Pike and Kirk. So this might have been when exactly the sonic shower was introduced has never really been established in Star Trek. But at this point, yeah, they're using pretty good showers. And then her thing here, T'Pol, hey, can I sit with you, Sub Commander? And then she ignores her at first, and then she joins her, reading her book. She says, the whole hostage situation with Tucker and Travis. Oh, by the way, they were taken hostage, but not really because it never happened. It was all resolved, all better. And And the captains want you on duty for a while, T'Pol tells her here. And Crewman Baird's going to take over. He's a good guy. He's going to get this stuff ready to go. I don't know who this was, but it was like some woman engineer walking down the hall. She at least says a couple lines like about realigning the couplers or something. Hoshi says hello to her. You can see that she's at least got like a lieutenant rank, so she must be one of like Tucker's people.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't say hello back. You know, she gets into this woman doesn't seem to notice her either coming out of the turbo lift. And then she can't seem to use the controls. You know, she's a vanishing act. This other guy comes in and she kind of just takes the ride with him. And then she goes to see Phlox again. This is the second visit with Phlox, you know, explaining everything else. And he's just kind of like, you seem fine to me.
This is like the second episode in a row where Phlox isn't being like the stellar doctor, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Yeah, when she first walked in the first time, he was being creepy again.
Yes.
It was still Bingala.
but if this is her reflection on everybody on the ship, then she's obviously creeped out by him somehow.
I guess.
So,
Well, I mean, after
know,
last week when he was trying to lobotomize Mayweather, I think maybe that's justified.
Maybe she's got-
honestly, though, who hasn't on this ship tried to lobotomize him? So.
Yeah, her opinion of Phlox based on these scenes is that he thinks she's she thinks that he thinks she's a hypochondriac or something, or like to maybe based on her stars not going the right way on her window.
This is basically a mixture of the transporter episode where everybody, where Jody and
Ensign Rowe
gets phased in and out kind of thing, and the episode of Barkley where he's like, you know, he's pretending that he's awesome and all this, and in the holodeck, and then, you know, obviously things go afoot. But I think, yeah, and even maybe a little bit of that Riker episode where Riker's going crazy in the mental ward.
Yeah. It's a bit of that too. It's yeah, you're right, Jody.
I think they're just trying to mesh all of that
they
together.
They took like a couple aspects from like all other Trek episodes and put it into a somewhat.
Like if we hadn't seen this episode though, and you got what the concept was, which is essentially we see everybody through her eyes kind of thing, that would have been kind of a neat episode to see. But instead, it's the Hoshi's going crazy episode, right? So,
right. Well, there's also that one with Dr. Crusher. Remember
that's
Dr.
the one
Crusher?
And
the static warp bubble.
The warp
yeah.
bubble.
Oh yes.
Right. It's got things in common with
that
that
vibe too. Yeah.
But it's not exactly the same. It's like it's got some differences.
Yeah, this episode has been done a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the gym, there's this.
I think it's even been done after this.
Trips on this. I don't. Is this exercise to go on this this gravity contraption?
No. There's no way.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
exercise.
This is just a gyro.
It's like is Trip having fun?
Yeah.
But he's
I
like
don't
dressed
know.
like he's on a workout or something.
Like,
He's
is
in
it
the gym.
supposed to be maybe
What
like
is a gym?
a training thing for
Yeah,
like
maybe.
zero gravity or something? Or
He's just having fun. He just.
This is just recreation?
I was in one of these things when I was a kid at the thing that was at the base of the CN Tower, Tour of the Universe or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was in one of those things then, and you know, I don't remember it being anything but just spinning around. Like you didn't feel anything weird or anything, I thought. But you know, obviously that was 30 years ago.
I feel like they had this
40 years
thing
ago.
for whatever reason on set, and they're like, let's just use it.
They're like, shit, we got to use this thing before we have to send it back to
I
the
think
lot.
we've seen it before. Like there was that I think in the episode where Archer was trying to race to Paul on the treadmills.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like it was.
yeah,
I feel
it
like
might
it
have
was
been in the
present.
background or on the side or something. Yeah,
It's got to be there for some kind of training. You're right.
well, it's got the barf shield. So
Well, didn't the NASA use something like this too for their training?
oh, I'm sure something
Yeah.
like that.
For a
They
zero
probably
G
had a better
thing.
reason for it.
They're already in space though, so they can just
Yeah,
Just go outside.
yeah,
outside you get all the training you need.
seems
No way. You go
Ask-
outside, you get pinned to the hull. Pee your pants.
Yeah.
Send out Reed first.
She tells Trip in this conversation that she's like not feeling right after the transporter, that there's a bunch of things off. He basically tries to make her feel better in this conversation. And then he kind of leaves her alone here. And as she's gearing up for, I'm not sure what the next rep in her workout was going to be, but weights. It looked like she was going to go for weights here because her hand goes right through these dead weights that she was going to start lifting. And then we see her kind of fade in the mirror here.
This next scene's so hilarious when they find her sleeping on the ground. They didn't find that scene.
Just like having an nap, like so it'd been many hours, and she could put her hand through the weights, but not through the doors.
Right. Or how can she sleep on a floor without falling through?
I don't know. That was the same thing with Jody and Rolaren back in the day when they were in that episode.
In her mind.
Yeah.
Ghost physics.
Yeah. Actually, if anything, the Jordy and Roe one is even weirder to explain.
Yeah, because you can go on a deck. You can go through walls, but you can't go through the floor.
Yeah, and you can run really fast through walls. But
exactly.
Right. And I don't know how you breathe in the air if you're phased out with the air, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But in this episode, so after this point, like there's a series of scenes where Hoshi is basically present, but no one else can see her, like really, right? She's like a ghost in the room. This kind of thing was done in a lot of the episodes that we've mentioned already that, from TNG and Voyager and original series that had this sort of theme. Like here where they go to see Phlox in sickbay and they're having a conversation, and then all of a sudden we kind of see her in the background, like just that was some of the more like interesting shots I thought that they did, and there was some use of the camera work that I thought was neat with this episode, like with the more of the handheld feel. But Phlox explains, well, there's cellular degradation. There wouldn't be anything left of her. I didn't realize it when she came in to see me. She's gone forever. They look at the transporter, and then they said the transporter's broken. Something wasn't aligned. It's not working. The pattern buffer or something. The coils are not right. Again, we see her sort of like lingering in the background here. Trip feels guilty. Archer is pissed. He's like, they told me this thing works.
Okay, so right.
Well, they told you you're supposed to leave with some weapons too, but you didn't do that either.
Yeah, but this is like, honest to God, you consider this, so, Next Gen, even the original series, we're used to beaming.
Yeah.
But this is like the beginning of it. I would honestly
I'd be
have
scared shitless to use
exactly.
This thing.
Yeah. That's pretty, didn't they watch The Fly, for crying out loud?
Yeah. Like, you beam me back into another place, and all of a sudden I'm growing fly things on my back. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, how tested was it? Like, how many people before Archer
went through it on inanimate objects?
Are they the only ship in the fleet that has one?
I don't know if that was ever.
And if it was that effective, wouldn't you use it a lot more? Like,
yeah,
I guess they start using it more now, right, Jody? I think, yeah.
They do, yeah. In the third season for sure. There's a lot of that because they use it with like the Makos and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So again, they're just. I feel like this episode could have been even in the first season.
But I remember like motion picture.
But we also have to remember this is all just in her head, right? Like none of this actually.
Okay, but we're pushing that aside for now.
Yeah.
But motion picture. Remember that scene they opened? It was a really good scene actually, where they bring McCoy up and another person. I think it was one of the crew members, and they couldn't coalesce her. And she started screaming in the stream, and like that was a horrible scene.
Yeah, that was
Janice Rand.
It was Janice Rand. It was right.
She was running the transporter, and McCoy or Kirk says, "It's not on you, Rand. I think it was on you, Rand. I don't think you knew how to run that
I think
thing."
you had something to do with it.
One of them was like that new Vulcan that was going to replace Spock. He was like, "Okay, I want a Vulcan science officer," since Spock was like retired at that point, and then he dies in the transporter. So he's like, "Spock, you've been reactivated.
You've been reactivated because the other guy's goo."
Yeah.
Please,
but even like it shows there was accidents still even.
Oh yeah, and in the episode where Barclay has like the transporter psychosis or whatever.
Where he's seeing
and all that, they kind of established that there's a bunch of different things that have happened with transporters over.
They're a pretty flawed technology in some ways.
By the time of Next Generation, it's been 200 years, right, of them using transporters, and so there's lots.
It's very rare, but it's like planes crashing, right? Same idea.
Yeah, I like this part here where Archer walks through Hoshi, and then she's like, "Oh, ugh, I don't feel
It's
right
like,
about this."
I felt Archer walking.
He was.
Well, he
inside
walks through
me.
everything else. I mean, you might as well walk
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
She's
Ugh.
like, he really doesn't stand still. Ever.
He's
Captain,
always moving around. I never know which
Just
way he's going.
She's chasing him all over the ship, Captain, see me.
Yeah. There's this thing here where you got Phlox and Trip going through. I guess these are their Jeffries tubes.
Their version, yeah.
Yeah, these are luxurious Jeffries tubes, by the way.
Well, you got a lot more space in these ones.
Than in like the next gen ones where
Yeah,
you're always.
but they're a
on,
lot
like-
more industrial. They don't have crap in the, all the pipes and everything are all hanging out. Where in next gen, almost everything was behind a panel.
behind the panel, but like in terms of like the space you had inside,
Yeah,
or
you
even
didn't
on
have a lot
Voyager.
of. Yeah, basically one person crawl spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, these are a little bit nicer. I get they kind of remind me a little bit of like the original series ones, but of course more
A little
cramped.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, so like Hoshi's like, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough research here to figure out what's going on. She hears some things coming from around the corner too. We keep hearing Reed's voice like in the distance, like throughout the episode, and we don't know why. And it's too hard to make out. I guess it's part of the the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know how she would hear him at all while she's in a
Well,
panel.
I'm guessing it's when her eardrums start,
materializing.
rematerializing. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, it must be. Anyway, so they there's a match here. It is her DNA. This is the residue of her DNA that's left over. And they said, well, we're going to have to collect what's left of her for her parents. And they like scoop her up here with like this.
go get a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, they just like
Put it in
put
an
it in this
envelope,
little envelope.
seal it up, mail it
And-
home.
Mail it back to Katie.
There, now they have something they could bury.
Oh god! And the scene that Archer's talking to her father is just so awkward.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Just on this scene, well, there's this part here where like he starts like yelling at the ghost. He thinks he's like the ghost of Hoshi. She's like, "You can see me." He's like, "Nope, you should have gone first and listened to me." And then we see these aliens who, again, I guess didn't exist at all. So these are completely imagined aliens.
Makeup's good on them though.
Yeah, some interesting imagination Hoshi has in terms of. It looks like they're like looking to blow up the ship.
And was confusing to me. I'm like, how is none of the crew seeing them? Are they also phased out? And then I'm like, no, because they can't see her.
Right.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with these goddamn aliens
Yeah.
They didn't need this part
at
Right.
all?
They-
At all.
They
Well,
could've ju-
yeah, but you also have to look at it. This is supposed to be in her psyche, right? So maybe this is another
I
insecurity.
think
She's always
Jody,
worried
they were
about-
trying to put too much in there, like
Yes, maybe. Yeah,
because it just became so neat at the end. It just wrapped up.
yeah.
Right. Like there's this here where she's trying to get Archer's attention in this scene.
And do you see him? He really takes deaths hard, eh?
Yeah.
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 Well, I think that's just part of him trying to give him more personality. Because like at the beginning of the show, you're like, this guy's a total dick. And he's still kind of a dick, but at least it's like you're like, he's okay, I guess. He doesn't like losses.
No,
Hoshi's
you don't,
dad
but
is
I like the
straight
Picard
up
way
mafia,
better.
though.
Ke-
Come on now.
Keon Young. Is
Yeah,
his
this
name?
guy's totally mafia. Look at him.
What's he from? He's from Deadwood. This guy. He's from Young and the
Oh, yeah.
Restless.
Oh.
What else? He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in Batman Beyond. He
Probably
does a lot of voice work. This guy. Anyway, he plays Hoshi's dad, so I assume this is her real dad because Hoshi recognizes him. He's not not the real him, but this is what he would look like. Anyway, she's like, "No, I'm right here," and she starts like playing with putting her hand through the monitor a little too long, if you ask me. In some parts.
This whole
Jesus.
conversation was too long. Like,
Yeah, it's so weird because like Archer's like, well, she's become part of our family. He's like, part of our family? We're her family. What are you talking about? Why are you talking in riddles, man?
why do you say these things?
Why? How can you say?
How can you say these things?
You know? I don't know, man. And eventually he's like, well, she's gone. She died in the transporter because he tries to explain what a transporter is to him at first. And he's like, what? Anyway, so she starts like she figures out she can do this. She can put her hand through things, but she can interfere with the circuit. Well, that's a whole new development, right? In this episode.
Well, she's changing. She's morphing.
But she just makes this up right out of nowhere. There was nothing established that she could do this. Anyway, so she's like, but I guess seeing her dad being sad was enough to motivate her to try something. So she tries to interrupt the circuit, making the SOS signal. Eventually it does get his attention.
But I mean, hold on, Dave. The way she even sees her own father, like he didn't grieve very well.
No.
No. He's like, let me call. I got to talk to the mom and then we'll call you back. How about that?
But that's all the insecurities she has, right?
Yeah. She's got a lot of insecurities, this girl.
Yeah, but we already knew that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
she
kind of proves it more.
She's got more issues than we ever thought. He sees it. He calls into Paul, and Paul's like, I don't know. That's a flickering light. What do you want me to do about it?
I'll call Trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trip's like, yeah, I'll get to it once I fix that deck plate
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. How about the chair, Jody?
or the chair. Yeah, I gotta go fix the chair again.
Would Real to Paul have dismissed the SOS signal?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
But because
Okay.
T'Pol doesn't care in this version of T'Pol,
In Hoshi's mind, to Paul is
yeah,
Yeah.
she even if she knew that it was Hoshi, she'd be like, fuck her, let her die.
This could have been such a good episode. There's so many good aspects.
they just didn't do any of it. They just kind of did. They I feel like they were bored this week and they were busy and they were distracted or something. Because nothing goes. And then we got to stop the aliens. They're planting their bombs. They're going around. They're setting their devices. Well, it's up to Hoshi. It's Die Hard on the ship. She's going to figure this out. She's going to bust in and stop these guys from setting. I'm like, okay, so nobody can see this alien like crawl over top of the reactor here, including like this woman.
No, she's in her imagination.
Right. So of course, this is all contrived.
At this point, people should already have clued into this.
Yeah, it's all a dream. It was all a dream. Who shot JR? Doesn't matter.
Nice
So-
80s reference, Dave.
Yeah, Die Hard. Going with my Dallas references. It's all good. She managed to disarm the bombs here. Not really, because it's all fake. But Return to Tomorrow. Which one's that?
I don't remember.
Must be a time travel one.
Anybody remember Return to
Names.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's
I'll
the one.
figure-
That's the one where they go back in time and like by accident, and then there's like the fighter pilot that they beam up by accident.
Oh, yeah. That was just
Oh.
when they figured out that we can time travel. Like,
Yeah.
am I wrong? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's that one. Okay, and then
Captain Christopher or something.
And Sam
Yeah.
says that we need to pay more attention to him and Thomas.
okay, what's going on with Sam and Thomas? What?
They're having a discussion in the chat.
Okay.
About Nichelle Nichols.
Well, maybe this is appropriate that we are watching the communication officers themed episode on Enterprise. Yes, Nichelle Nichols did pass away yesterday on July 31st, 2022, at the age of 89, I believe.
Unfortunately.
89.
Yeah.
This original crew lives a long way. We got George still living.
George, Walter, and
George
Bill
Walter
Shatner.
and Shatner, yeah.
They're the only ones left.
Oh, I think Shatner's going to live forever.
Well, I think he might. Have
My money's on Chekhov.
Chekhov's Walter Koenig's most likely because
Well,
he's the youngest,
he's the youngest.
of those,
The youngest,
of those
yeah.
actors, but not that much really. But anyway, so I thought this was an interesting looking transporter thing that they brought in.
Mhm.
The prop department worked on something. Again, it's not real, so never existed in the first place. So they beam out. Is Spock still alive?
I have bad news for
no.
you, Sam.
It's been a while. Leonard Nimoy died like 7 years ago.
2008, I think, didn't he?
15.
COPD.
2015? Was it 2015? Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, she gets on. She's gonna follow these aliens to wherever they're going. And she knew. So for somebody who's has no physical manifestation, she thought she could still be transported. And this is where she materializes back, and we're back where we started, guys. She's back in her uniform.
I know this episode ended so abruptly. They did this so abruptly that I turned away. I looked back. I went, "Where the fuck are we now?" Like,
Mhm.
oh, I guess the episode's over. How did they resolve that?
Yeah, they go, what do you mean? It's only been like 8 seconds.
I have some more bad news for you, Sam.
And some good news. Kirk's still alive.
Kirk is still alive.
McCoy, no.
McCoy
Not
was
for
one of
a
the first
long
ones to go out of the
Yeah,
crew.
he died in 1999, which is, as memory serves, Sam, was before you were born.
But he still had a great cameo on Next Gen.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He
First
in that
episode.
in the Star Trek universe, McCoy lived to 137 at least. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because he was in Next Gen.
yeah, and so he's like, "It's okay, Hoshi. It was all a dream." And I'm like, "It's not okay, Trip. It's not okay." Anyway, she goes to the sick bay, talks about her experience. Archer actually takes an interest in what happened here, which I thought was, she's like,
Strange.
yeah,
He cares.
He's like,
he cared what happened. He wants to know the
I
story.
got M&Ms in my pocket. Do you want some? Like that is just a terrible screenshot.
And then they just
Awesome.
walk out of
She's like,
sick-
it's all good. I'm just crazy.
yeah.
It's fine.
And that's the episode, guys. Like,
It could have been
Record-
great. I was
record
excited
time.
for a Hoshi episode.
The fact that we're only 37 minutes into this podcast and we're done talking about this episode
Well,
tells you how much actually happens in this episode.
remember the episode Next Gen where it was Relics, where Scotty came back and they were in the transporter buffer stream
Yeah,
for like,
Dyson Sphere, yeah.
Yeah.
But he had that friend Franklin.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
I wonder what his dreams were like.
Probably Hoshi's.
You know,
yeah.
he deserved better.
We deserved better as an audience for this episode, quite frankly. But maybe there's some fun facts here that are going to so the main three, yeah, Kurt
Yes.
Shatner is the only
William
three.
Shatner is still alive.
Yeah. But like Gene Roddenberry's gone, Majel Barrett's gone, most of them are gone.
Long time
The
ago.
show was 60 years ago, so
All right, here's an interesting fact, guys.
Please.
This is the episode that established that Hoshi Sato initiated the convention of using the word beam as a verb.
Neat.
That is interesting.
but did she like then promote it on social media to get people to like catch on? Like it was like, hey
Well-
guys, I'm going out there, I'm starting the trend.
I'm very curious to see whether, as we get more beaming happening in season 2 and 3 and 4, do they start using that word?
I don't remember them using it.
Yeah, beam me out or beam me here or something like that. No,
I don't remember, but I guess we'll find out.
Okay. While on the gyroscope, Tucker says, "You're upside down, Ensign." This is the same phrase he spoke to Ensign Mayweather upon encountering him in the Enterprise's sweet spot in Broken Bow.
Oh yes. Yeah.
This is as fun as
One
it
of the
gets,
only
guys.
times that Mayweather didn't tell a ghost story.
Nobody talks about the best place in the ship. Filming of this episode began on October 2nd, 2002, and wrapped up on the 10th. So it took 8 days.
the day after my son was born. He was born October 1st, 2002.
Oh,
Thomas Hill says he liked this episode and loved Hoshi as a character.
the term
What's growing on me?
Thomas, what did you love about this episode? Or did he like the episode? What was the comment?
Well, I think he said I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Didn't say he loved it, Dave.
Okay.
Because people like different things, Dave.
Yeah.
It's not that
Unacceptable.
complicated.
Unacceptable.
Excuse me. All right. The term vanishing point in art refers to the point where two lines converge and appear to disappear. It's likely also a double pun referring to Sato's fears about her birthmark disappearing. Do you guys even know what that means?
No.
Well, women use vanishing cream to hide blemishes and stuff.
I don't-
so
I
that
don't
would
even-
kind of make sense, I guess.
All right.
That's the only thing I can think of. But you know.
Losing me a bit here.
Yeah. I was trying to think on the episode. Was there was the thing on her face a birthmark?
No, but she was vanishing.
Yeah, I know that.
through the
I don't get
episode.
it.
I'm with you, Adam. I don't get it either.
So,
Well, it
all
was
right.
the point in the transporter when she comes back, right? I don't
Her
know.
Yep.
vanishing point.
I'm grasping at straws here, guys.
Mhm.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's where I knew him from. Okay, well, maybe this will come up with the fun facts.
What
I
do
knew
you
I
got,
saw
Dave?
the actor. I saw the actor who played Hoshi's dad before somewhere, but I couldn't.
Who is he?
figure out
Who
where.
is he? Who is he?
So he was in an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where he played a baseball called
Oh,
If
he's
Wishes
Oh,
Were
he's a
Horses.
baseball guy.
Yeah.
He was Buck Bokai from the London
Buck Bokai.
Knights.
From
Yeah,
the- yeah, okay.
Cisco's favorite baseball player.
So, guys, I hate to say this. There's not a heck of a lot to talk about in this one. It's
So it's just not fun. Okay, next.
That sounds like baseball.
Yeah, that's right, Cisco. Sounds like baseball.
could have used some
Okay.
Gordon, Dave.
All right, let's get the ratings going here, guys. Just based on everything that's gone on, our whole discussion here, I had a rating and I've been lowering it as we've been talking.
I love when we do that.
Yeah, so I'm starting off with this. I'm going at a 3. This is where I think this episode belongs. I don't like it, and I don't think it has a lot redeeming in it, and I definitely will never want to watch it again.
So I look forward to these shows because sometimes when I feel like an episode completely sucks, you guys bring me up, and you actually brought me down too. So I'm I'm with Dave at 3.
3. All right, Jody.
Originally, I was going to give it a 4, but then I decided I'm going to add a point, and the reason why I'm going to add a point is for Hoshi's midriff. So I'm going
Okay.
to give it a 5.
So it's acceptable with the midriff.
It's
Okay.
good enough.
And Kevin.
Oh fuck. It's tough because I love the idea of there's things.
The
I
idea
like,
is good, and that's one of the reasons why
but
I
the
did like the
execution is
episode.
just so awful.
I think it's because we've had so many other episodes to compare this with.
Yeah.
If
You
this
know?
was the only time you ever saw this idea, I think I actually would have liked the episode more.
Sure.
I would have liked more exploring Hoshi's insecurities. That would have made it better. But it's a 4, I guess. It's not good.
4. Okay, we're averaging at a 3.8 tonight. That's the
Wow, that is
not our lowest of the
truly
season. That
terrible.
was Minefield, but that one was a polarizing episode.
Well,
polarizing.
Minefield, there's a couple people that thought it was good, and I just don't get that.
there's a couple people that thought it was a 0. They were not even a 0.1.
Yeah, I don't
Like-
agree with the 0 either. But
The only person I know really liked it was Davin, but apparently Dave gave it a 7.
Davin's a hard guy to use as a judge because he is like his needle's all over the place.
He can be.
2 episodes that are very similar. One he'll love, and the other one he'll be like, eh. So
Yeah. Thomas would give this a 6.5 because he likes the sci-fi of fear using new technology and the way
That's-
they're traveling space.
Thomas, you made a great point. I feel the same way, but I don't think they got into it enough. That in itself, the fact that they're using new technology to be ripped apart essentially and put back together, that they could have done so much more with that.
Anthony Spence says, "What is this?
What is it, Jody?
This is a video podcast. We're currently streaming on 3 different platforms, and we're currently talking about a show called Star Trek Enterprise.
That's from 20
so-
years ago.
20 years?
That's
20
right, Trip.
years ago. So hopefully that answered your questions, Anthony.
How could you
and
say these things?
Thanks for joining us, even though you didn't know what it was.
8.5 from Sam. Sam.
Wow.
Sam.
8.5.
We need to talk.
Sam,
Yeah.
those kind of ratings aren't going to get Gilligan's Island podcasts made. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
He did mention that the whole Gilligan's Island cast is dead, except for
Are they
Ginger.
all? Oh, Ginger's
Apparently
alive,
Ginger's
yeah.
still going. Couldn't tell. Jody, is there a good one that comes after this?
I'm afraid we have a problem.
Dave's getting impatient.
Like, when will there be good episodes? Is it not till season 3? The highest episodes, so our favorite episodes so far this season have been the first 2, Shockwave and Carbon Creek. We lose Jody? Oh, he's like, I got nothing for you, Dave. And we liked Dead Stop okay. But
Carbon Creek was probably my favorite, which is hilarious because it's got almost none of the cast in it.
Well, it's T'Pol. T'Pol's the only consistent great actor in this.
And it's not. It's it's Jolene Blaylock, but it's not even T'Pol. It's her great grandmother or whatever.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, you know what's missing out of this episode tonight? T'Pol.
Yeah.
Like
She was in it. So the next one
but
is.
she didn't say anything, Jody. It was only
The next one is hold on, sorry.
Precious Cargo.
Precious Cargo, that's the one. Which is it's a trip episode. I remember that. Let me just see if I can. Oh yeah, no. Whoever said they wanted a good episode, you might have to wait a bit. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know that this guest star.
Yeah.
On it. Padma Lakshmi. I know her from something. Where do I know her from?
Hold on.
Something I don't know, but
she was in the movie Glitter. You probably know her from that, Dave.
I've never seen that.
Good. Thank you. I was Dave. If you said I
wanted
seen Glitter,
to know what he was gonna say, because if he goes, "Oh yeah," then I'd be like, "I'm all over it." But no.
Oh, she's the host and judge on Top Chef. That's where I know her from. Oh, Sam, aren't you a Oh, you're a Master Chef guy. Yeah. No, I don't know if you're like Top Chef, but I was like, I know this woman who was like the guest star. I know this name, and yeah, I've watched Top Chef a few times. Host and judge.
Yeah, she was also a voice on Family Guy for one episode. Like past that, not really anything I would know.
Okay. So
yeah.
Episode 11 of season 2 is next week's Precious Cargo. Will it be one of our precious favorite episodes ever?
I'm going.
You have to
Don't
tune in to
say
find
any
out.
more. Don't say any more, Jody. I want to watch it and be excited.
Well, you never know. I will tell you the one after that, though, which is the catwalk. That's a pretty good episode.
On the catwalk. Yeah.
How is the opening consistently the best part of this show?
Sometimes you get 3 minutes of good stuff with 40 minutes of bad.
It's still a good theme. I like the whole opening. I really do. I think I don't skip forward through it.
Oh, I always do. I panic if I can't.
Been a long road.
I like the historical value of it. You know.
Anthony Spence says he remembers this show. Well, that's good. I guess.
Yeah. You gotta.
And he also wrote a time travel book. So good for you.
Awesome.
Like on real time travel or like a fictional time travel story or something.
I don't think it's a how-to.
Yeah, I would imagine it probably is.
If it was a how-to,
a dummy's guide to time travel or something like that.
Time travel
When you
for
shot
dummies.
around the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well,
it's been a long road.
It has been, guys.
All right, so
It's been
Dave.
a long road.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Before we get sued. All right. Anyway, speaking of getting sued. Well, actually, no, that's a terrible segue. Let's just go with what other things do we have on this channel, Dave?
Well, we have a Star Trek Deep Space Nine at 9, we call it, rewatch series. We've been watching every episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine for well over 2 years. We knew it would be probably up to a 3.5 to 4 year journey to go through week by week and watch every episode. As we've been doing here on Enterprise, we've been doing that a little bit longer. Tomorrow night, we'll be back on to talk about the next episode of Deep Space Nine in the queue, which is called Children of Time. It's from season 5. It's where the crew of the Defiant crash on this planet, and then they meet. But it's like a time travel kind of episode. You should check that out, Anthony Spence, because you got some. It's a really cool time travel episode, actually. It's not a favorite of everybody in the Live Long and Podcast community.
I think it's going to be pretty divided.
But these are the best podcasts where we have like different points of view. It's one of my favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine, period. And so I'm excited to talk about it. We'll see if the whole panel agrees or not. Anyway, check that out here on Live Long and Podcast tomorrow night. That will be August 2nd, 2022. We'll be covering that. And then normally on Thursdays, we have new Star Trek episodes. Or at least we have been for a long time. But we're kind of in this lull right now where we're waiting for the next series to come out, which will be Star Trek Lower Decks season 3. That's going to come out on August 25th. So it's still 4 weeks away till there's like a new Star Trek episode to come out. But that's okay. We were on a marathon there for I feel like 10 months where we didn't have a week off. So it's been kind of a nice pace. But check out our back catalog. We have Strange New Worlds, we have Discovery, we got Prodigy, we got Lower Decks, and a lot of like original series rewatch podcasts, and in the movies. Remember when we talked about the movies, guys? It feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have a different take on those movies now compared to all these podcasts we've done after the fact.
I would
Anyway.
love to talk about the movies with you guys. I feel like there's a lot of hatred towards the movies.
Some of the movies there, and even when we were doing
Especially Nemesis.
Nemesis is the one I dislike the most. I'd say
I like
of the next gen movies, especially
Of the next gen ones, yeah.
Yeah, like
Motion picture is objectively the worst.
Yeah.
Well, bring up the ratings, Dave. Let's have a look. We got time.
Yeah, we got time. Yeah, we didn't even we
didn't even use an hour yet.
We didn't even use it all here.
Bring 'em
but
up.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
What do we got here? We'll go a little closer in so you guys can see it. So
the motion picture, I think, other than Nemesis, I think the motion picture was rated the worst, along with Final Frontier by the looks of it.
What the heck, Ashley? I got to talk to her. On next Wrath of Khan, only a 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
she gave.
She doesn't really like it that much.
Wow.
Wrath of Khan is not the best Star Trek movie, though. I'll fight anybody.
Yes, we all know.
No.
It's
I think
Country.
it's the
Right.
best original cast movie. Wouldn't you agree?
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Well, Jody,
Have you not seen Undiscovered Country?
that's not all right. Yes, Undiscovered
What do you mean
Country.
it's not? It's
Yes, it is.
exactly
Yes,
the
it is.
original cast.
Yes, it is.
I got
Yes,
the
it
big
is.
poster. I got the big poster.
I guess when they stopped numbering them with like Roman numerals, I gave up. And then, but yes, that's a great episode. Sorry, great movie. I totally agree with you.
I
Undiscovered.
liked the Roman numerals. I didn't understand why we stopped doing that in movies, but I guess people didn't like it. Couldn't read it. But yeah, like first Undiscovered Country is at least when I did that rewatch, it was my favorite. I gave it a 10 out of 10. But sometimes I think Voyage Home is maybe more of my favorite. I don't know. It's just as
And I
good.
really
Kevin
don't
equally
like
hates the
Search
first
for
and Nemesis. So he
Yeah.
hates them both equally.
Oh yeah.
No one hates Star Trek Beyond more than Kevin, and Kevin gave Beyond 5, which seems higher than he should have given it. So anyway,
Yeah, but that was just because it was like I don't know the movie. I've only
Yeah.
watched it 4 or 5 times,
four
and I
times.
can't pay attention to it.
it can't keep your attention, so
No,
it's
it's
got
so
issues.
boring.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, maybe one day we'll do a rewatch, a second rewatch of the movies, just to see if we still think that these.
I don't even
things-
think I have to rewatch them.
I don't have to
literally
rewatch them
watch
either.
all the time. Except for 1 and 5. 1 and 5, I don't watch very often.
I start one every now and then just to remember why I don't watch it, and then move on. As soon as I see
the white uniforms.
I
Exactly.
would probably give 5 a higher number now. It's grown on me.
5, yeah. 5 isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it's certainly not great.
And I think Insurrection sometimes gets a little bit too much hate for what it
I like
is.
Insurrection.
I
Insurrection
fucking love
sucks.
Insurrection. It's one of my
Insurrection
favorites.
sucks.
Is it
Why?
I will
because
be different than the rest of you.
Yeah.
It is so fucking boring, that movie.
Come on, the scene where like they're singing?
Oh, come on.
ready for a knockdown blow.
Yeah, that sold me.
No? Oh, that's it.
That's better.
A British tar is a soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird. His
Insurrection
energetic
is so
fist
fucking
would be
boring.
ready to resist.
Insurrection is literally what happens when you take a 40-minute Star Trek episode and stretch it into a movie. That's what
Yeah,
it
but
was. It was so
you've got
fucking boring.
You've got Ruafu screaming in the fucking
Yeah,
he's dying.
Ruafu is kind of
All right, I'll give you that one.
Like,
I'll give you that part.
it's not like I actually hate the kid and Data's relationship the most.
Oh,
in
the
that
kid and
movie.
Data relationship is
Make sure to
creepy.
have some fun every day. Okay, you too. Okay, fuck off. Like, no, I don't want. I'm not down for that. So, anyway, So anyway, so that's our Live Long in podcast content. Check all that out. Also, Star Trek Radio Theater. We got a bunch of like radio plays where we did the script reads, and you can go and listen to that live and edited versions out there. And what else? We got Super Mater Brothers podcasting, where Jeff and I do different reviews of shows, often with Jaemeel Robinson. Right now, we're talking about Big Brother. What are we now? 24. Big Brother 24.
When Jeff can stay awake.
When Jeff can stay awake, like
I saw the end of your last one. That was
his eyes were closing for the last night. So we're now in week 4.
He was done. Yeah, he was.
Check
done.
out if you're into Big Brother, check out our coverage over there, or Survivor. We talked about Survivor season 42 very recently, or Big Brother Canada 10. Check out over there on Super Mater Brothers podcasting, and we have Trivial Debates, a monthly show. We argue about movies, TV, sports, and more in like a game show format. Jody Simpson hosted the last one with Jeff and Davin and Chris competing. This is a great episode if you haven't listened to it already. We have a new one coming up this month where I try to remember. I think it's Chris Murphy hosting again. And I think it's Adam and Jody competing, and I still have to figure out who the third is if I haven't already. So we're gonna be doing that probably in a couple
Put in
of weeks.
a Seymour so that way Adam and I can be in the final.
Oh, just
I don't know. That Seymour got by me one time.
you did.
Well, what does that say about you then?
It was,
I guess I'm winning this one.
Jody, you're pushing it, man.
Also, our Davin, who is most recent, he has his own Star Trek theme channel called Locutors of Trek. They do all kinds of fun podcasts there, like Writer's Room, trivias, debates, different things. Hey, good night, Thomas.
Good night,
Thomas.
You should also. He also has an X-Men podcast called X-Rated. It's all about X-Men, the animated series, that cartoon from the early '90s. I'm going to be on it tomorrow. I'll talk about part 3 of the Phoenix Saga with him and Andre. I'll be on at 8 Eastern over there. As well.
I think this is the name of Anthony's book.
The Man from Beyond Tomorrow.
Yeah, from Beyond.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
and that's interesting because Thomas Hill was here having seen the episode Return from Tomorrow. So there's a little bit of correlation there.
Yeah, look this book up now.
Yeah. Also, check out Eamon Mater, my son's podcast. It's called Let's Talk About Fighting Games under his alias Sam Jerka. They call it Let's Talk About Fighting Games with Super Smash Bros. Seth and Paranoia. And also the Hellbound podcast with Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn every Wednesday. Check out all those fun podcasts out there, guys. Tomorrow is yesterday is the episode where Earth goes back in time to do a Brown Star. And I did watch it, your rewatch already. To do a Brown Star? What's that? Anyway,
No idea.
guys.
I found your book, Anthony. So I'm gonna look into it more. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
So
right,
congratulations. That's always an accomplishment.
Always good to be published.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's Vanishing Point, guys. I'm ready to
Time for us to vanish.
vanish from this.
Let's just
yeah.
put this one behind us.
Let's vanish
Move on.
into all our insecurities.
I vanished.
Oh. Don't you vanished? He's gone.
It's a vanishing point.
Bed goes up. Bed goes down.
I'm gonna just find something here from Hoshi. I didn't have anything from this episode that I pulled, so I'm gonna just get something different here. Hoshi.
I don't know, but it's been about 20 years.
Oh,
20 years?
There we go.
now
Now we're all waiting in anticipation. This is the most
Find out if Hoshi's-
non-climactic ending ever.
Ponfomaran.
You're insulting.
Great.
You went with that one?
You guys were pressuring
Let's
me.
just be
I
done.
was-
Let's
Okay,
just
no,
be
we're
done.
doing I'm doing carrots.
Oh, and I'm out of carrots.
There are 25.
Carrots!
How come that was
Now
in
that